Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, July 3rd. We are right in the thick of things, in the most heated time of the pro rodeo season. We wrapped up Ponoka. We wrapped up Greeley. We've got all kinds of Cowboy Christmas stuff still happening around the country, and we are bringing it all to you today, broadcasting from the Fort Worth Stockyards. As always, thank you to Runyon's Fine Furniture. Thank you to Justin Boots. And we're going to focus mainly on the rodeos that have already wrapped up today in terms of the Cowboy Christmas run. Two rodeos that pay about $500,000 in the Ponoka Stampede and the Greeley Stampede. We're not going to run through all the winners. We'll show you all the winners for both of them, but we'll break down the biggest stories there and then just talk about some of the other many other Cowboy Christmas rodeos, but just give you a look at what happened across pro rodeo on July 2nd. But first, let's back it all the way up. Let's back it up 48 hours to July 1st, the showdown round, the short round of the Ponoka Stampede. They do it in the four-man showdown format, winner take all. I really love the way they do it. It's the average to get to the finals, then the finals narrows it down to the four-man. The four-man, like I said, is winner take all. Another note on this. So the PRCA World Standings, when we get to Greeley, those have already updated for Greeley. The Canadian money always takes a little longer, especially around Cowboy Christmas. So you will not immediately see these standings changes reflected on the PRCA website on ProRodeo.com. But let's get into it, and we'll start by kind of combining both because Rocker Steiner won the Ponoka Stampede and he won the Greeley Stampede. So back-to-back nights, huge wins back-to-back. He makes over $25,000 on those two wins. He is awfully close to Bradley Miller already. He's going to be number 2 in the world. He's been number 2 in the world. He's only about 10,000 back as it stands right now. Again, that factors in the Ponoka Stampede money. 89 in Greeley, 91 and a quarter on Disco Party in Ponoka. And in true Rocker Steiner fashion, he was a quote machine afterward. He told the Ponoka Stampede he's a little guy on a big horse there, and that he is also kind of a disco party. Neither of those things I disagree with, but Rocker Steiner's red hot. We told you to look out for him. He has very much delivered so far. Another guy who keeps delivering, Damian Brennan, in the last 2 weeks has gone from number 15 up to number 8 in the world standings. He could be very close to the top 5 by the time this Cowboy Christmas run is all said and done. 92 and a quarter points to win the Ponoka Stampede for the Aussie. Now, since the middle of June, that is 10 straight rides of 86 points or better for him. Sticking to the rough stock in Ponoka, Hayes Waite wins over $40,000 for his winning 89-point ride there. It's because the money in Ponoka rolled over from the previous four-man showdown the year before. So I don't know how much of Hayes Waite's will count for the PRCA World Standings. That'll be a difficult one to figure out. But either way, $41,000 goes into his checking account, into his savings account. So some count, some doesn't. A lot of it will count. He was number 15 in the world coming in. So a huge win for him. And I love that the Ponoka Stampede does that. People who worked with me at the Cowboy Channel know my biggest pet peeve is when someone either makes a short round or wins a rodeo without riding the requisite bulls. And so I like that they say, hey, no one rides, well, you don't get the money. We'll declare a winner, but you don't get the money. And I think that's the way it should be. Ride the bull, get paid, on to the next one. Pretty simple concept in the bull riding. And the one timed event pair that I want to showcase in Ponoka, Colton Schmidt and Sid Spoor, they win the average on 3 to get in to the showdown round, and then they win the four-man with a 6-2. So pretty much a wire-to-wire victory for them. You can see the rest of the winners there. Ryan Schuckberg, an Alberta native, a young cowboy, wins the bulldogging. That's big for him. Jennifer Neudorf, 17.24, fastest run of the rodeo in the short round in the showdown round to get it done there. And then Amanda Terrell, similar story to Schmidt and Spoor, 3.1 in the showdown. She wins that. She also was the average winner coming in as well. So on to Greeley. I mentioned Rocker, just dominant, wins the long round, rides for 89 in the short round. Unbelievable stuff from him this year. And he mentioned that he is on a better pace than he was last year. He's having the best year of his career. Last year, he was $233,000 heading into the NFR. He says he wants to break that bareback riding regular season record. He is now on the record of saying that. And I always love when guys say that, when they put themselves out there and they say, hey, these are my goals. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to go do it. I would not doubt Rocker Steiner the way he has ridden so far this season. The other big winners in Greeley, some number ones. And I think probably the biggest winner, the most impactful winner of any of them was Tucker Allen in the steer wrestling, because he was starting to get Jesse Brown, Will Loomis, Stetson Jorgensen, some great names nipping at his heels. And what does he do? He shuts the door with a win in Greeley to win over $10,000. He shared it with Gavin Soilo, but for all intents and purposes for Tucker Allen, just huge. He's now over $120,000. No one else is even over $100,000. And like I said, those guys were starting to sneak up on him after his Rodeo Houston win. He hadn't done a ton. That is a massive win for Tucker Allen. The other one, Kassie Mowry. She only goes places where she thinks she's going to win. She's won a check at every rodeo she has been to this year but one, but she's been to less than a dozen rodeos. But she entered number one. She comes to Greeley. She wins the average. She wins round one. She wins the finals as well. And when you total it all up for Kassie Mowry, that's about $13,000 to add to an already big lead in the WPRA World Standings for the defending world champion. I think if you had to make a pick right now, maybe the most obvious pick in any event would be, why would you doubt Kassie Mowry? The only thing stopping Kassie Mowry would be she just doesn't go to a ton of rodeos and then doesn't win a ton at the NFR. But since really last September, I mean, her whole career, but specifically since last September, she has basically won the rodeo or come awfully close everywhere she has gone. That includes the NFR, where she won 5 rounds last year. Let's flash up your full Greeley winners for you before we do that. We got to give everyone else their props as well, because Andrew Ward and Jake Long, they were 15-9 on 3, and they went from both of them went from number 28 in the world to number 18 in the world with that win. So look out for them as well, because they were 4-8 in Mandan, 4-8 in Livingston as well. They could be that one pair that I'm talking about who moves up 15 spots. They're already up 10 spots there. Mitchell Story in the saddle bronc riding, a permit holder, 92 points on Butler and Sons Green Bay. In the short round, he wins the average with 176 points on 2. He was 2.5 points clear of the rest of, 3.5 points clear of the rest of the field. And that is a massively impressive win for a guy who's just getting his toes wet in the PRCA. We've seen that before. I think Keenan Hayes won Greeley on his permit as well recently. Michael Otero wins the short round, or wins the finals, in order to snag a victory in the tie-down roping. 27-5 on 3. He was half second better than Kincaid Henry and Riley Pruitt. Then another Aussie. We talked about Damian Brennan earlier, but Qynn Andersen, a young Aussie making some noise. He wins the average, the only one to ride 2. And Qynn Andersen has quietly put himself number 9 in the world in the PRCA Bull Riding World Standings. Now, let's quickly whip around to the other rodeos in St. Paul. 3 new rough stock leaders as of last night. Garrett Shadbolt leads the bareback riding now with 88 points. Cash Wilson, 91 in the saddle bronc riding. And Tristan Hutchings, a 90-point ride machine. He is 90 in the bull riding. Jess Pope leads in Oakley City now after 88 points. He also still leads in Livingston with 86.5 points. Ryder Wright and Stetson Wright, reminder, still among the leaders in Livingston. Then out to Cody. Tough Cooper, 7.8, leads the tie down roping there. And I talked about yesterday how Cody Snow and Hunter Cook would have a chance to win this with a 4-3 in the team roping. Well, 3 teams beat that yesterday. Kyle Dennison and Lane Mitchell, 4-1 to lead, and Quentin Parchment and Caden Graves also 4-1, tying for that lead. 6 teams already 4-5 or faster. So that is us making our way through the chaos. We will not be back on No Huddle Rodeo until the next Monday, so we will have a ton to sort through between all of these rodeos and Calgary. It's going to be a busy, busy week, but we are the best place to get all of the action broken down in 10 minutes. I hope I've done that for you today. We will see you next week. Like I said, all kinds of Cowboy Christmas in Calgary. If you are not tuned in next week, you should be. Tell a friend, like and subscribe. I do a bad job reminding people to like and subscribe, but like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend that this is the place to be for the month of July in pro rodeo. It is all on US Cowboy. Thank you to Runyons. Thank you to Justin's. And thank you for joining me on the final episode of No Huddle this week. We will see you next week on the US Cowboy YouTube channel.